So where is Ethiopia anyway? Well, as you can see here, it's in the continent of Africa. And the countries surrounding are Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, Somalia. And the bodies of water near it are the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. Addis Ababa is mentioned in the book, and it actually is the capital of Ethiopia. And then, as you can see, Addis Ababa is really close to a mountain range here. And Mount Solota, it was mentioned in the book, is actually a real mountain. It has an elevation of 2,785 meters above sea level. And I drew Arha standing up here and he's saying, "Oh, standing up here with no clothes at night will be cold." Well, maybe I can imagine them. Here we are in the kitchen, and I want to tell you about dura, which is a food item which is mentioned in the book. Dura is also called sorghum and is used for many things in Ethiopia. It is a kind of grass that bears grain, and the people there use it for foliage, flour, syrup, grain, and ethanol. So it's used for a lot of things. And then injera, which is right here, I mixed it up a little bit, is made of teff, or as the people there say it, love grass. Some people also call it Ethiopian millet, because it is a lot like millet or quinoa. And it can be used for many things, just like I mentioned for dura. And to make injera, you use 2 cups of teff flour, but if you don't have teff flour, which I didn't, you can use white flour, a 1/2 cup wheat flour, which I put in, a 1/2 cup cornmeal, which is right here, 1 teaspoon of dry yeast, and 2 cups of water. And then you stir it up. And I already did that. Usually you let it sit for 2 or 3 days just to let the yeast in, or that's what they say it, which means make bubbles, because it is a really bubbly, like pancake sort of substance. But I don't have that time, so I'll probably let it sit for just a couple hours and then show you it. But injera, they use it as sort of like a plate. They take it and they scoop up beans or stew or rice or anything that they're eating and just eat it right off their plate. Right now I'm going to get some plastic wrap and cover this up so that I can show you it at lunchtime. Okay. These are some of the great books I read about Africa to help me learn about Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is in Africa. And with the help of those books and the internet and other things that I read, I created a lapbook. A lapbook is sort of a mini scrapbook about things that you learned about whatever you're doing your project on. I've done one about the Narnia books. I could do one about anything, basically. And I titled this one, The Fire on the Mountain. Okay, it says, Head in the Clouds. And then it says, A note to Arha on the mountain. And I wrote, Remember your friend down there tending a fire for you. My favorite part of the story was when Haley proved that the judge was wrong. And this is a picture that I drew of the dinner party. Let's see here, turn the page. In a lapbook, you can do anything. You could draw a map. I drew continents in Ethiopia. And you can make little flat books like this one. It says population. Population is much bigger in the U.S. than it is in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's population in 2012 was 84,320,987. You would think that's a lot, but U.S.'s population in 2012 was 313,914,040. This is the flag of Ethiopia. I'm going to color the flag here. The colors are now known as the Pan-African colors. And the red stripe on the flag stands for power, faith, and blood. The yellow stripe stands for church, peace, natural wealth, and love. And then the green stripe stands for land and hope. And then the star here stands for the unity of the people. What languages are spoken in Ethiopia? Well, there are many, many languages. These are some, but I cannot pronounce them. That's because there are so many tribes in Africa and Ethiopia. Ugh. The official name of Ethiopia is the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. It's a big name. And then the capital city of Ethiopia is Addis Ababa. And then here we go. Animals in Ethiopia. There are millions of animals in Ethiopia that include the lion, elephant, bush pig, gazelle, antelope, kadu, dik-dik, orbai, reedbuck, zebra, and many others. I'm in the middle of making injera, and here's one that I made, alright? As you can see, it has some bubbles in it. And it's really flexible, like a taco shell. And it came out really well. And I'm going to go make another one here. But after you let it rise, for what you're supposed to have is a couple days, you have to add enough water to make it be runny like this. Before it was all thick. So here we go. I'm going to pour it onto a skillet here. That one's a big one. And you actually, while you're waiting for it to bubble, you actually don't flip it over. And once it's done cooking, you lift it off with a spatula and put it on a clean surface like a cheesecloth. It's looking yummy. What are some of the products produced in Ethiopia? Well, let's find out. There's cereal, coffee, honey, oilseed, and sugar cane. And then this is a sightseeing guide I made for Ethiopia that has a bunch of facts about different places in it. Let's start with Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa is the capital of Ethiopia. It is often referred to as the political capital of Africa. Aksum is a city in northern Ethiopia that was originally the capital of the kingdom of Aksum. Gondar, or Gondar, was once the old imperial capital. The city is nicknamed the Camelot of Africa because it is the home to some old royal castles. Lalibela is a town in Ethiopia that is famous for its monolithic rock-cut churches. It is one of Ethiopia's holiest cities. Bahir Dar, or seashore, is one of the leading tourist places in Ethiopia, with attractions like the Blue Nile River. Harar is often referred to as the City of Saints, or Gay. It was founded in the 7th century by Arab immigrants from Yemen. and the Wash River is a major river. It empties into a chain of interconnected lakes that begin with Lake Gargle and end with Lake Abbey, or Abbey Bad. Turn the page here. Okay, let's see. Currency. The United States of America. 1. Aha! What happened to George Washington? The birr is the unit of currency in Ethiopia. $1 in the U.S. would be worth 18.52 birrs in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, there are 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent, and 50 cent coins. And there are $1, $5, $10, $50, and $100 birrs. And then these are Ethiopian birrs. The climate. The highest temperature ever recorded in Ethiopia was 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, that's high. And the lowest temperature ever recorded in Ethiopia was 18.5 degrees Fahrenheit. In April, the average temperature is 18 degrees Celsius. Look at this little, how do you say? Hey son, will you please cool down? These days are too hot. Never! What time is it in Addis Ababa? 6:50. And then where I live, Brimley, Michigan, if it was 6:50 in Addis Ababa, it would be 11:50 here. Weird. And then these are some recipes. Hi, look at the finished injera. It looks so good. And it's yummy too. In Ethiopia, they would normally have a huge plate. And they would have stew or rice or beans or whatever they're eating with it on it. And they would take their hands and rip off pieces and dip it into whatever they're eating. I mean beans on top of mine, but you can also have like a hummus dip like this that has beans blended up, some cumin or some turmeric and some onion and stuff, but I don't like that, so I mean beans. And usually they would have cumin or turmeric sprinkled all over the top of it because it's a strong spice and they like it. Now I'm going to eat this. Wish you were here to eat it.